Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Let's get straight into it. Lots of things to talk about. The other stuff we'll talk about to the end. We're a Manchester United fan channel. You're Manchester United fans, and this is what we want to talk about. Manchester United. The biggest story of all, we will be talking about the China tour, players who've been taken on that, players who haven't, implications, etc. But first of all, let's start off with Paul Pogba. Interesting, did a video earlier at lunchtime that Di Marzio, the person who I openly say pretty much knows everything that's going on with Manchester United, he's one of 4 or 5 sources that if they're saying the same thing, then I would go for it. And yes, he came out at lunchtime and basically clarified the situation that Raiola and Manchester United are going to Juventus, was supposedly today, could be tomorrow, with a bid to get him, Pogba, out of Manchester United. Di Marzio used the words concrete. To me, this is just replicating what Di Marzio said 2 weeks ago, what we've been saying for about 3 or 4 weeks now, that Paul Pogba will sign for Manchester United. Later than that, Goal came out and a couple of others with quotes from Raiola saying it's a load of shit. It doesn't change my mind as to where we're at with this. There's people who've been saying the same thing amongst us and others, but credible people like Di Marzio and other media outlets have been saying for a long time that Paul Pogba is only going to go to Manchester United. There is that chance that he'd stay at Juventus. I know people throw that back, but the reality is, Juventus, are they really? Manchester United are going to offer all it takes. As I said last night, as I've said loads of times, as you've said, he's probably worth 60 to 70 million pounds. Reports from Sky Sports, whether you believe that or not, I mean, they were 2 hours late, were saying that we've offered 86 million pounds. Juventus accepted, are expected to, don't get excited with accepted, expected to turn that down. I'm sure they will turn it down. I'm sure it's like a gauge offer. I think we will go to 100 million pounds. I think they'll accept that. It's been mentioned enough. Why would you accept 86 when for the last 4 weeks we've been hearing 100 million pounds? United will pay what it takes. Raiola is very, very keen to get the deal done. The latest thing I've read, and it was in Di Marzio's internet website, updated a couple of hours ago, I think, was that the big thing is getting Paul Pogba to the table, because Juventus are saying they aren't going to sell him without Pogba putting in a transfer request, which technically he has anyway, because Raiola is his agent. Raiola acts for Pogba. Raiola is working with Manchester United to get this deal done. As we've said for a couple of weeks, the wages, the deal has been on the table to Pogba for a couple of weeks. He's happy to go back to United because there's nobody else. And funnily enough, Raiola is now trying to get this deal done. I think what they want is Pogba to come out and say, I want to go, so that they can say, oh, we tried all our best. And I think there's got to be some middle ground there, how it can be an amicable split. But from a Manchester United fan, who cares? We'll pay what it takes. We want him. His agent wants it to happen. Pogba wants it to happen. And I'm sure Juventus want it to happen, because once they've got 100 million pounds in their pocket, they skyrocket, they'll be off to buy Higuain. Fancy Football, Scorpion 119 Gaming just said that. Just did a video about an hour and a half ago with doing the Fantasy Premier League. That came out today. That was big news. So get involved in that. I've actually just had an email from Hotel Football about the hospitality package that we'll be offering to the winner, amongst other prizes we'll be giving up as well. So get involved with that. A lot of you talking about something we'll be talking about later. Jake244 says, can you speak about that other channel? We'll do that in a minute, but I want to focus on football because that's what it should all be about. Would you give 100 million for Fellaini, Mark? And Fellaini, yes, I would. Or did you see the Mourinho post and squad names? Yes, I did, Ruan. We'll be covering that in a minute. And Sayef is saying that Sky Italy are saying that we will up the offer, which I'm sure that we will do. It's interesting because there's a lot of people I think have probably been quite negative about it, and they are now probably being less negative about whether he will come to Manchester United or not. I've been pretty confident and sure it's going to happen for a long time. I think some of you have. I think some of you are doubting it because it's natural to doubt something that is amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, not only are we going to break the world transfer record, not only are we going to bring back a player that we never should have gone. And on that point, I must just admit, away from Manchester United, isn't it fantastic the amount of bitter clubs like Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool are laughing at us for Pogba coming back, whereas up until a month ago, when it wasn't realistic that he'd ever come back, they always used to laugh at us for letting a world-class player go. But now he's coming back, oh, he's overrated, it's laughable. I love the fact that we are back in that sense. But yeah, world transfer record, no Champions League football, one of the best players in the world, coming back to Manchester United when we let him go. It's a dream, it's a fantasy. And I think that's why people won't believe it until he's holding up the shirt. Nothing is never, ever defined. Nothing is ever, ever certain until that point. But as things stand, with his agent driving it, with Pogba happy with it, with United willing to do absolutely anything to get it. And also, yes, Woodward's messed up deals in the past, but we've got Mourinho involved now. He doesn't mess things up. So I'm confident that it's going to happen with Pogba. We're going to have to wait. I think the next couple of days are quite interesting. Obviously, Manchester United have gone out to China, but Juventus have got their own plans to sort as well. And Di Marzio seems to think that in relation to Juventus, which is where he gets his lot of his information on this anyway. And also, as I've said for a number of weeks now, I think Di Marzio's got a very good source at United because he knew the Mbola deal was dead a week before, when I still thought it was happening. He knew that we were getting Zlatan way before. He knew we were getting Mkhitaryan way before. And there are similarities between the Pogba and the Mkhitaryan and the Zlatan deal in the sense that Raiola is sort of saying, well, it's a load of rubbish. And then the clubs are saying it's not going to happen. I'm not concerned by any of that at all. There's nothing that I've seen or read over the last 2 weeks which makes me think we're not going to sign Paul Pogba. If anything changes, then obviously we'll hear it from me. But as I am at the moment, I'm 100% convinced that he will sign for Manchester United because everybody wants it to happen. I think Juventus are just treading carefully and they've got to sort out their squad and use that money wisely. Let's talk about let's look at some of your comments. Somebody saying Matt ban Dan FIFA 98. Breaking Sky Sports said like the video. Added to Merriman, I can't get the words out. Unless Pogba says he wants to move, the deal will never happen. And yeah, well, you might be right with that, but I think we can delve into the whys and whys nots. But the reality is, I'm still convinced it's going to happen, and I'm very confident and very relaxed about it. Mark, how many more players will we sign? Says Veniak. I don't know. I think it's very interesting. That sort of brings us on to the next point again. We're always in sync, aren't we? The China squad's been named. It's pretty much the squad of the weekend. Brilliant that Pereira's going. Fantastic that Twansibi's going. I think them two have got great futures, and I think it's great and encouraging that Mourinho is encouraged by them and wants them to be part of it. The players that aren't going, who were part of it, Blackett, Varela, and James Wilson. James Wilson doesn't go. Will Keane does go. I mean, some people are saying, oh, it's because he scored, but it was a tap-in. I just think Will Keane did more than Wilson. It's a surprise to many of us that Wilson isn't going. But if you saw the first half and you saw him for Brighton in a few games last year, he's good, but he's not Manchester United good. He needed to come in on Saturday and literally hit the ground running and rock it, really do well. He looked a yard off the pace. He looks like a championship striker. And that's a shame because, a couple of years ago we were saying, we could have somebody really decent on our hands, but he might get away with a loan. To be honest, I think it's starting to look like the exit door. Carlo Capello saying Will Keane better than Wilson. I think Will Keane offers something better than Wilson in the fact that he's bigger, he is quite quick, he's good at holding the ball up, and he was fantastic at United in the youth setup until he got injured. Mourinho probably sees something in him. So the next one, Varela. I'm sorry to those people out there who think he's the next Gary Neville. I'm not going to name any names. Alex is one. I said it last season. Varela will never make it at Manchester United. I think he's 23 now. A lot of people think he's a youth player. He's decent going forward. He's not as good as Gary Neville going forward, and he's certainly not as good as Gary. I mean, Valencia's a better defender. He's very poor as a right back defensively. He's decent going forward. I suppose he could have been decent as a backup, but if Mourinho doesn't think he's good enough for that, he looks like he's on loan to Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany for a year. So if he gets first team football there, who knows what could happen for him next year. But I think he's very much looking at the exit door. And Tyler Blackett, I don't even know why he was involved at the weekend. Just not good enough. Just not good enough for Manchester United. And it's not personal. This is the thing I always say. It's not personal about Fellaini. It's not personal about Jesse Lingard. It's not personal about, well, I'm not even going to mention Daley Blind because I'd love him to say as a squad player, but just not good enough. Just not good enough. Tyler Blackett is just not good enough, and he needs to leave Manchester United. And I'm sure he will get a move, but I'd be very surprised if we ever see him anywhere near a Premier League club. I just don't think that's his level. Developing the squad, China Tour squad, Rooney, Rashford, Smalling are part of it. None of the other Euros players are. A lot of people tweeting today, where's Zlatan? Where's Schneiderlin? Oh, is he going to sell Darmian and Fellaini? Getting excited. No, that's not going to happen. The reality is England are crap, and we got knocked out a long way before any of the other clubs, so they've got a longer break. It's weird because I don't know whether a lot of them are joining up with the squad because we are out there for just over a week. So they probably won't. They'll probably get an extra week off and they'll join up with us for the Galatasaray game in Sweden a week on Saturday. But yeah, Rooney, Rashford and Smalling hopefully will just be used to get their fitness up. And what we will see against Dortmund on Friday and Man City on Monday is Mkhitaryan hopefully as a number 10, a bit more of Pereira, a bit more of Twansi, a bit more of Bailly. Memphis is going to get the opportunity. We were worried at the weekend that he had a bad 45 minutes. Will he get other chances? Of course he will. He will get chances on this tour. He's got to take them opportunities. Herrera hopefully will keep developing. So there we go. I mean, it's difficult, really difficult for me now because what are we? I suppose we're 15 minutes in. If you just like your football, and you watch the United stand for that reason, then I'll suggest you just stop watching now because I'm going to go into something that is really sad and really it's difficult because when we started the United stand, how many have we gone in 18 months? First 6 months, I was a bit of an arsehole. I put my hands up. I was an arsehole. I was like in everybody's face. And that's how I wanted to do it, and I didn't care. I'm still pretty much the same, but I have learned how to do YouTube and Twitter and everything better, and not getting. I've never been abusive, but never, trying to stay out of things. Something kicked off today, and it's really quite funny because if you're on Twitter, you'll see there's somebody's tweeting out fake stuff about me supporting Forest just because I'm from Nottingham and stuff like that, which is hilarious. The fact that people think it's real. Have you ever heard of Photoshop and stuff like that? Laughable. Other people calling me CUNTs and stuff like that. I'll be quite honest with you what happened today. I'll always be honest with you because the United Stand, what people forget about the United Stand is it's not a little channel anymore. It's got 30,000 subscribers. It started from nothing. It's never had any help off anybody. It's never been corporate. It's never had any financial backing. It's always been a fan channel about the fans for you with us interacting, and we have this interactivity. And I'm going to go to your comments in a minute. But I think people seem to forget that when they're taking a pop at us, this was voted the best new football vlog last year at the Football Blogging Awards by the fans. It's liked by the fans. I know a lot of people probably, find me a bit divisive and they like some of the other people better than me, and that's fine. It's not about agreeing with each other and about that. It's about talking about Manchester United. So what happened today? There is no issue with anybody, with me, as far as I'm concerned. The funny thing is, the Twitter account, everyone thinks that's me all the time. I use the Twitter account, but other people use the Twitter account, but it's always assumed that it's me. I don't care. I've got broad shoulders. I did send this particular Twitter message today to a large Manchester United fan channel, and it was based on, I have a lot of messages from you lot. I know some of you hate this thing. I hate it as well. I'm trying to explain what's going on because there's a lot of lies being thrown around, and I know why they're being thrown around because they're trying to protect what they've got because it's a very big brand. I personally don't really care about that because all I care about is debate, talking about United, and they're saying, oh, we're trying to do this for views. Again, I think they seem to forget that we're not a little channel with 500 subscribers anymore. We have regularly a lot of people watching us talking about Manchester United because that's what we want to do. Don't need their views. We don't need their views. So that's not what it's about. What it was about is one of you lot actually messaged the United Stand today and said, I've just watched on Facebook, this channel are doing, this big channel, they're doing a watch along on, they're going to start doing watch alongs now, which obviously we're the first Manchester United fan channel to do Manchester United watch alongs. So I messaged them. I wasn't very happy about it. And I said, look, we've always respected each other. You do fan cams after the match. We could have done that last season. We would never do that. We interviewed fans outside the ground before the game. We then put it together as a video, and it was about a particular topic, like would you choose the FA Cup over the Champions League? And then we put it on as a compilation on a Wednesday. It's not a fan cam after the game, getting fans' opinions. We would never do that because that's what they do, and they do it very well. We started the watch-alongs. If anybody watched it on Saturday, it went really well. We really enjoy it. We've got your comments on the screen. To be honest, Saturday's one was different to how it's ever been because normally I have me and a guest. I had to do it on my own, and it was massively about you in the comments. We had a great time doing it. So that's what we do. So I messaged them today, and I said, look, I find that really disrespectful. I find it really aggressive that, we're not a Liverpool fan channel. We're a Manchester United fan channel. We do that, and you're just going to totally copy it. I said, you've got every right to do it. You've got every right to do it. And you know what? They may do it better. You may all go and watch it, and then we'll just stop doing it. That's fine. If they're better, they do it. I'm not in for that. In fact, I'm even thinking about stopping doing it anyway. Because to me, why would any Manchester United fan channel, if they so-called haven't got any beef and they so-called don't have any problems, why would they do that? Why would you go head-to-head competitively, aggressively against the Manchester United fan channel if you haven't got a problem with them? It was put to them in that way. They accused us of doing fan cams, which we've never done. I said, we haven't done that. And I said, you're basically making Manchester United fans choose, and a lot of you will follow both channels. And we didn't need to say anything. They don't need to say anything. It's obvious. You will figure it out on Friday. It's obvious that we're going at the same time. So I tried to try and resolve that. I ended up getting blocked. That was that. I tweeted out, I said, blocked by that channel, unbelievable, because I found it absolutely unbelievable. One, that they would, acting that way, there's no need for it. And two, that they then block us. I found it rude and arrogant. On from that, two people who've consistently said it's nothing to do with us, we're not part of that channel, have then started abusing me on Twitter. So they're nothing to do with that conversation, but then they've started abusing me personally on Twitter, putting lies and fake stuff out, which I find funny. And I'm not going to name them. You probably know who they are. I'm not going to reply and start saying some of the bad things they've done, because for me, that was over a year ago. I'm not interested in that. I'm not getting into that. I'm not bothered about that. What I have said over the last few days, and some of you say, you mentioned them a lot. Maybe I have, but it gets mentioned a lot on the live comments. And all I've said is that I would debate with anybody. You know why I would debate with anybody? You know why I would like to go on a show with them? Because I think I'm better than them. I think this channel is better than them. I think we can go toe to toe with them, have a debate about their opinions. Everybody would watch it, and it would be really good viewing. That's what I want to do. I don't dislike them. I don't have an issue with them. I find it amazing how abusive they are. I find it amazing that they are still going on about things a year ago. But that is the truth. That's what it's about. They are going to do a watch along on Friday. I think it's totally out of order. I know some of you will think it's great because they're doing that content and you like that. I know some of you will think it's ridiculous. I think, they're trying to belittle and squash us because we're getting big and they don't like it. You can interpret it many ways. Personally, I interpret it as sad that another Manchester United fan channel is just being aggressive and trying to belittle another one. That was my point. They blocked me. That's the end of the conversation. And that is where we're at. As for other lies that are going around about we've knocked them back when when they've approached us to do videos, I can categorically state they have never asked us to do a video other than a 30-second clip talking about something for 30 seconds. I mean, am I going to do that at the end of one of their videos? And then we promote their channel. Do you want us to do that? I don't want to do that. If they want us to go on a preview and talk about on a level playing field, talking about a preview or a debate, we'll do it. I'm not going on, and none of us are going on at the end of their video for 30 seconds and then promoting them to. It's just not going to happen. That's not. One, we're not corporate anyway. We're not promoting anybody else. And two, it's disrespectful for us to be a little bit on the end of a video, I think. So we said no. So when these lies go around, we've been asked to go on them. And note, I'm not naming their names. I'm not naming the channel because I'm past all that. I just think it's really sad that United fans are abusing. I mean, no, it's me, so I'm defending myself here. But United fans are going around calling people CUNTs, spreading fake lies. And it was nothing to do with them. According to them, what that channel does is nothing to do with them. So I've had a conversation with them, and then these two start. There's one word for it. There's one word for the whole lot of it, and I will stand up to it. It's bullies. They are bullies. They are corporate bullies. And also, just to add to it, last week, I emailed the owner of not just that channel, all of the channels, and I said, I realise you probably never want to work with United Stand. We probably wouldn't work with you anyway because of the ongoing issues. But I had an idea to do with football, to do with Manchester United, that I think would be fantastic for fans and everybody. It's big out of the box thinking. It would take people who know what they're doing in that area and a bit of financial input. If any of you lot know anything, drop me an email if you've got connections in that sort of media thing. And I said, look, separate to all that, let's put all that behind us. Have you got any advice on that? I was told categorically by the owner, I will not be getting involved in that, and I will not be recommending that any of my outlets have anything to do with you. Fine, that's their choice, but that is in black and white. So all these lies that, we've offered them this, we offered them that, not true. All this stuff that I've had issues with them in the past, true. I did say stuff to them, and I have apologised, actually. They never apologised to me. And all this recent stuff about abuse and everything like that, I don't know where it's coming from. It's just hate. And if they can't move past that hate of months ago, then that's up to them. But belittling what this is ridiculous. If people want me to walk, I'll walk. I'll get a new presenter in, but the United Stand's not going anywhere. The United Stand is so important. It is independent. It is fans saying what they want to say about the club they love, and it will continue. And I'm happy. I will walk. I've done it before. I'm not bothered. but I'm not walking because of this. So they can keep with their tweets. They can keep with the abuse. You know what the truth is. I'll await, and that will be it. That is it. I'm not going to say anything else. People can watch back this video. They can listen to it. They can take issue with it. They can tweet even more. But if they tweet even more, I will respond to it and tell them that they are liars because it's not true. I'm past it now. That's it. That's it. Let's get back onto the football. I've said it. I've said it. I'm not naming names. I'm not naming that channel. You know what the issue was. It was quite simply, they're doing a watch along on Friday. And I've put it out to you, like, you know, do you want me to carry on doing a watch along? Do you want the United stand to do a watch along? Because if we do it on Friday and everyone watches their channel, we'll just stop. It's not about, I don't do this to compete with other Manchester United channels. If Redmen TV were worth competing with, or Arsenal Fan TV were worth competing with, I'd do it. But they're not. But I'm not competing with other Manchester United fan channels. I think it's really ridiculous. And I think it's unfair on you. Mark, would you like to see Reece Oxford sign? Let's get back onto the football. Apparently, well, we've been linked to him for a long time. He's 19, isn't he? He can play defensive midfield, centre-back at West Ham. Apparently wants a move. Chelsea and City are apparently moving towards him. He's out on the England under-19s at the moment. Would I want him? Part of me says yes, because even in the 2 games he played in the Premier League at the start last year, I thought he looks like he's being a good player. But part of me says no, because I think you've got Pereira who can play midfield. You've got Twansibi who can play centre-back. You've got Roshan Williams coming through. We've got young players who I think can do it. Reece Oxford might be better than them now, but just because he can play centre-back and centre midfield, Mourinho's moving away from this multi-skilled thing. We've got a centre-back coming through who's young called Twansibi, and he can be brilliant. We've got Pereira who can play in the centre midfield. We've got Fosu Mensah who can play in there. Do I want Reece Oxford? I won't lose any sleep if we don't get him. And as Khalid says, he could go to Manchester United. And he's 17, Tyrone Ellis says, and a few of you said, I apologise for that. Ivan's here to talk about football. Will Rooney leave after this season, Riley Grant? I think he will. I think he'll break the goals record, and then I think he will go. Defend Mark on Twitter, says Jacob. You can defend me or not. You know what? At the end of the day, let's park it and leave it. I said I would explain what happened. It was quite simply one issue which I disagreed with another channel at a very discreet level, and then the minions come running out and start swearing and causing abuse and trying to belittle us. And personally, I know some of you will love it and think, oh, go on then. As I said last night, I hate violence, I hate abuse, I just don't like it. I think there's enough of that hate in the world to be starting doing that, but I know some of you do like it. And also, I think, well, why are you getting involved? Why are you doing that? And personally, I think they've belittled themselves. They've made themselves look really stupid for what is a professional outlet run by a professional media company, and they've got people like that running around doing stuff like that. I think it's ridiculous. Where will Pogba play when he arrives? Conor Campbell, that's a good question. I think he'll play in the midfield. I think Rooney will play at number 10. Mkhitaryan on the right. James Green's trying to wind me up, I think, by saying Ashley Williams, question mark. Martial on the left. And I think you'll get Pogba. And, well, even when I say that, because Herrera did the box-to-box position quite well, I think Pogba would take that. And then you'd probably have a Carrick or a Schneidlin or a Schweinsteiger holding. That's what I think. Drop us a like on the video. Some of them are saying that'd be great. It isn't a popularity contest. If you like the United stand, like it, subscribe, get involved. We'll always say how it is. I didn't want to react to that tonight. I don't like reacting to it, and I've taken a lot of what you've said on board, and that's why I'm not naming names or anything anymore. You can work it out yourself. But as Jose205 says, Mark just focused on the United stand, which is exactly what I was doing. I think the watch along is so good. I think we do it really, really well. And I think somebody to copy something that's so blatantly done by us, if it was a different club, it's fine. I just think it's wrong. I think it's passive aggressive. But there you go. Some of you might disagree. But as I said, I'm not always right. I just say what I think. Don't stop the United stand, says Liam Mills. The United stand won't stop anyway. We've had offers from people to buy the United stand, so it will not. It will never stop. So that's fine. And actually, you know what? If any of you out there work in the media or anything like that, drop us an email, get involved. If you work in IT or, I don't know, apps or anything like that, and you want to get involved, that's one thing I did need to say. If I haven't replied to you yet from your emails or your DMs or anything like that, I will do it. It just had so many over the last week or so, which is nothing to do with what's gone on tonight. I've had a lot of stuff today, positive and negative. You'd expect that. But if you want to get involved, and take us up to that next level from a media point of anything like that, drop me an email, markgoldbridge@gmail.com. Collab? No, I don't. They won't. There will never be a collaboration. So we're going to see. But I mean, it's interesting. What if they're doing a watch along on Friday, and we're doing a watch along? Are you all going to watch that? Are you all going to watch this? Are their fans going to come on and dislike our video, and are we going to go on dislike their video? This is the issue it causes. This is what I was trying to say. It's ridiculous. It's actually causing an issue that hasn't been there for a long, long time. But I don't know. Mark, the King of the North. Subscribe to Mark and like, says the Great Gamer. Your forehead is like a polished brick wall. I am hot tonight, but it is very hot. Kunal says we will do the watch along, but you know what's going to happen over the next on the Friday. They're going to be like all watchers pulling in everybody from Football Republic and everything, and we're going to be like tweeting out saying, "Do you want to keep watching us?" and stuff like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, and I don't like where it's heading. I don't like where it's all heading. It's ridiculous. I watch both simultaneously, says Adam. Remember to watch the game as well if you can. It's Dazza says, Mark, stop with the drama bullshit. It's not drama. I've never acted. I don't do that. I come on here and I just say what I think. And if you don't like it, go and watch something else. We're not the ones chasing likes and viewers and things like that. Never have been, never will be. In fact, you've just reminded me, one of the things we were meant to do tonight, which I was really looking forward to doing, we were launching something tonight. I've had to put it off because it wouldn't work now. It would just be like, oh, that's really, you're only doing that because of this, that, and the other. And if you watched last night, I said we had something big and it's had to be put off. But it will happen, but that's disappointing. I am disappointed about that. Chris James says he's in the security business. Does this help? Only if I need to get a couple of bodyguards, because it's heading that way, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Humza says, haha, of course you're chasing likes and views. Yeah, of course we are. Believe what you want. It's absolutely no skin off my nose. I was doing this with Martin and Alex and Kev when we had like 10 people watching, and it's never changed. And those people from the start know that, so don't worry about that. Title contenders when we sign Mark, says my name is Simple72. Why not? Why not? You know what? Why not? Mkhitaryan's fantastic. Zlatan is world class. Added to that, the players that were poor under Van Gaal that will get a second lease of life. You bring Pogba into that. I heard somebody say today, Leicester may as well hand us the Premier League trophy now. It's presumptuous, but I think we have to be challenging for it now, and that just shows you what Mourinho wants to do. I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't expect it at all. But there you go. Marcus is savage, says Oswaldo. Do you think De Gea will leave? Memphis just bought. There's loads of people here saying that we do this for the money. I don't know whether people watch YouTube, but if you watch YouTube, some videos you watch, not on this channel, you can't watch the video until you've watched a 30-second ad. I would never do that. I would never do that to this channel because I find it frustrating myself. But the reality is the people who do that is getting them, because you are forced to watch the ad for 30 seconds, they get a lot more money from that. We don't do that. The ads go up on our screen just for a little bit that will help us get better equipment, hopefully, and stuff when we've got enough. But the 30-second stuff, I just find that annoying. So that I could easily turn that on, or the lads who run the YouTube could do it as well. We could easily turn it on. But it's just a switch of a button. I'm sure a lot of you would sit through 30 seconds. And if you want us to do that, we'll do that. But there you go. Mark, do you want me to knock out the man who shall not be named? No, because I hate violence. I hate violence. I hate abuse. I think it's sad that what's going on. I think it really is sad. And I have tried to respond to some of it, but it just gets silly. Mike Easy Office, been watching. I want to read that one because it was good. Been watching since you had 30 viewers online. Mark's jokes haven't improved, but it is no different now than it was then. No, it isn't any different. Minimum expectations for the league, says Chris LaForce. Well, get commenting. We've not had enough of your interaction on the football stuff. I would say minimum's got to be second, hasn't it? I think if you get Pogba, yeah. Alex is saying I'm going to get killed by somebody. Really? I know some of you have an IQ of about 5 and you love fighting, but come on, grow up. I really said this last night. There is so much evil and killing and stuff going on in the news every day, why do people have to start going, oh, someone's going to beat you up? They want to try and do that. Let's see what happens. But I certainly won't be fighting back, and they'll end up in prison, won't they? So that's a really clever thing to do. Ratchet, Fellaini's in the squad for China. No, he's not. He's not. To be honest, who cares if Mark is in for the money? I'm not in it for the money. This channel is the best. This channel is the worst. You can't get better than that. I love it. Dividing opinion. That's what it should always be about. Somebody just said then, I can't believe we're talking about two rival channels talking. Well, you know what? That's probably the comment of the night. I think you're absolutely spot on. It's really sad. It's really stupid. It wasn't a public thing, a private thing, querying something that I thought was wrong, and suddenly Bush. We never went public with it. I said we've been blocked by that channel, and then everybody abuse and flying in. It's just not professional, is it? But there you go. Why don't you do a collab with? No, won't be doing that. Stone, shout out to Tom Williams. Fabinho, Rashford. Fabinho's a good point from Ratchet Garang. We've talked about him a lot. Nottingham Forest in there. But do people want to know why they've gone and said that I support Nottingham Forest? Because I've been quite honest about it plenty of time. If people want me to say it, I'll tell you now. This is why they're doing it, because they seem to think that they hate people who don't go to the matches. They hate people who aren't from Manchester, even though some of them are. And they have a massive, massive problem that a lot of people on this channel aren't from Manchester and don't go to games. I don't go to games. I used to go to games. We started doing the United Stand. You can't go to games if you do the United Stand and you're doing a watch along, because you can't sit in the ground and do it. So that was why that happened. Yes, I'm from Nottingham. People probably know that from my accent. Yes, I used to go and watch a lot of Nottingham Forest when I was little. My mum and dad separated when I was about 6. My granddad always supported Manchester United. I've got books on Duncan Edwards and stuff like that. I've been to the grave when I was really young. I've been there loads of times. He loved the Busby Babes, and that's why I love Manchester United. And my mum loves Manchester United, and she loves George Best. When my mum and dad separated, my dad, who's a Chelsea fan, and I've got no idea why, he's got programs from the 70s in pristine condition. On the weekends, when I used to have to go and see my dad when mum and dad are separated, for something to do, I suppose, he used to take me to watch Forest. Forest were decent in the late 80s. I've been to Wembley. I was at Hillsborough when the tragedy happened in the Forest End, which I've always been quite vocal about. And I also saw Roy Keane's debut away to Liverpool in a 2-0 loss. When Roy Keane went to Nottingham Forest, when he went to Manchester United, I was absolutely ecstatic because I loved Roy Keane. I also liked Stuart Pearce, Des Walker, Nigel Clough, but I always supported Manchester United as my number one club. But yes, I did go to Nottingham Forest. So does that make me, as somebody who was in single digits from the age of about 6 to 9, being taken to games by their father on a weekend, does that make me a Nottingham Forest fan? No, it doesn't. I support Manchester United. So it's sad that somebody and people are retweeting that out. And that's not even real anyway. That's somebody's made that up. But it's true I'm from Nottingham, and it's true I used to go to Nottingham Forest matches. But this is how petty and silly it is. And I'm amazed that there's so many of you still watching, because it is petty, but I will defend myself. But more importantly, I will defend this channel. And if anything happened that discredited this channel through me, I'd walk away, somebody else comes in. And I can tell you what, there's some really exciting things going to happen with this channel. I've had some brilliant videos from people who want to come on, and they are brilliant, and they will be really good. And one of them was going to come on tonight, but I said there's things we need to mention that will make it pretty awkward for you. We've got a guest on tomorrow that's never been on before. We've got a guest on Thursday. We've got people lined up, and it's going to get better and better, and you lot will be more involved as well. So great. Andrew, where do I pay for a polo? I tell you what, it is something that needs to be sorted out, but apparently I've been called a prick on Twitter. I've been called a hell of a lot worse. The polo shirts will be out, but as I've explained before, to get them mass produced, this is a good quality polo. They will be about 30 quid. I know some of you want them still. I will sort them out and you will be able to buy them, but I don't expect you all to, because I know that's a lot of money. And that's more or less cost with postage, so we won't be making anything on it. Tyrone Ellis, I watched... I've lost you, Tyrone. I've lost you. Oh, I'm sorry, Tyrone. It was a good comment. I think it was something about he used to watch Birmingham and Villa when he was growing up. Thing is, a lot of you lot won't be from Manchester, won't be fortunate enough to go and watch many Manchester United games. Ridiculous. Piggy nose. See, personal abuse and hate. I just think as soon as you swear at somebody and as soon as you start giving personal abuse, you've lost the argument, because you just make yourself look like you got the IQ of a 4-year-old. John Casey, Mark, don't be upset. I'm not upset. I'm really hot, and I'm just being honest. I'm in Manchester M1, progressively Maxwell. Draxler or James? Draxler, I think Compo says, or James Rodriguez. Draxler or James Rodriguez. Shout out from Texas for Satcher. James Rodriguez for me. Draxler would be better on the right midfielder, though, and we do need that. But I think James Rodriguez would excite me because it would mean we'd have to not play Rooney as much as I think we will do this season. I think Rooney, somebody said to me today, Rooney could be fantastic this year. He could be really spurred on by all these signings. I really hope that does happen, but he has got to do it. Shout out from Montreal. I missed the name. Stay strong. I'm not even fine. Mark, answer me, please. Have you talked about the China squad? I've only came on. Yes, we did. We talked about the China squad. No Varela, no Blackett, no James Wilson. Could be the end for all of them. Rooney, Rashford, Smalling go, but they'll be training. They'll be training, not playing. Memphis has got to do something in these next 2 games. But excited to watch Bailly, Fosu Mensah, Pereira, Twansibi, Mkhitaryan. Really, really want it. Shout out from Farmer for Harrison. I think we should call it a day there. The numbers are starting to drop down. Mark, do you have a well, I think the United stand has a great fan base, and I think the United stand is really important. I think it's wrong what's happened today on many levels. I think it's really wrong. I think if you've got an issue with somebody, you should have it in private. I think we were right to have that issue, but then all this public stuff and the way they've reacted as well, it's wrong. But that's me. Make your own minds up. I would implore you, if you watch both, to keep watching both. I certainly don't want any. I don't want to be coming on mentioning it ever again. But I just wanted you to know where we were coming from, and we'll wait and see if anything comes back from it. Certainly the individuals sending abuse and lies out, I don't really want to mention them anymore. But the bigger thing, I suppose, we'll just have to wait and see what's that. I'm sure we'll be cast as the villain. We've always been cast as the villain. I'm sure we'll be cast as wanting likes and views. Why? It's been a steady progress for 18 months and it's always grown. If we wanted that, there's been plenty of opportunities to stick our nose up people's arses and beg and steal and borrow to get on their channels, and then you get seen by all their fans, and then you grow. We never wanted to do that, so we never will do that. I know a lot of you don't like me, and I know a lot of you people don't like the channel, but it's always honest and it's always passionate and it's never abusive, and it's never violent or anything like that. So we'll keep doing what we do. Hopefully you'll stay with us. Hopefully we'll keep enjoying the videos. Tomorrow night we're back 100% talking about football. I know a lot of you don't. There's somebody making a very good point there, Afsal, saying no more clickbait. It's not clickbait. When you say Pogba done deal, that's clickbait. And I know we did that and there was a question mark mixed off. But when I do a video like this afternoon, I say Pogba deal almost done. That's based on what I know. That's what I'm reading. And that's what I think. If it's proved wrong, you will come on and tell me. But that is what I think. And fake as my teeth, says Luke Phillips. I mean, Luke, you've got a choice in life. You've been on actually having a pop for the last 40 minutes. I mean, how sad is that, Luke? You've spent 40 minutes trying to get noticed. You've had one now, and I purposely waited to the very end because I thought every minute you're watching somebody, you're slagging off, is a minute you're wasting and a minute I've got you like that on a string. And, I'm not a manipulative person, but I did that on purpose because I just think you can slag us off, but you're slagging everybody on the live comments off who enjoy it. You're slagging me off, but you wasted 40 minutes of your life, mate. So tough luck. And I suggest in future you go and watch something that you do enjoy because it's a free world. I'm boiling hot. Thanks to everybody who's been involved from the very start. Thanks for everybody who gets involved who's new. Thanks for everybody, all your comments. I know we're divide. That's what football's all about. Hopefully we won't have to mention any of this crap ever again and we'll just move on. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And hopefully, if you've missed bits, you'll anything that anybody's throwing, you will know the truth behind it. And the only thing that might happen is they might start throwing stuff up from a year ago or a few months ago, which I've already confessed to, and we're not that anymore, and we haven't been that for a long time. So thanks everybody for watching. That's me quitting. I'm finished. I'm off. There you go. See you later. I'm joking. That was terrible from Zara the other day, wasn't it? Really, really shocking. If you haven't watched Sunday night's show, watch it around 8 minutes when Zara leaves. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But it wasn't planned. It never is. And I'm really excited about some of these guests we've got coming on. So thanks everybody for watching. Please do drop us a like or a dislike if you hate us, whatever. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's back on the football. We'll see what happens on Friday. Ridiculous situation. It makes me feel very frustrated that that's going to happen. Head to head with the United channel, ridiculous. If we don't get many watching, we'll just stop doing it. You know, the fans can speak for themselves, can't they? There's no skin off my nose. I'll still do the match reactions. Speak to you all later. Thanks for everybody watching. It means an awful lot. People might say, #drama alert, Dan FIFA, you're another one who's wasted 40 minutes. But I know it's not drama. I know it isn't, because everybody who watches this for 2 years knows that this is what it's always been about. It's always like this. It's always the same. And the comments are absolutely brilliant. My usual shout out and applaud to the comment section. Do drop us a like. I think we hit 1,000 likes off the last one. And I think these videos are very much about your interaction. And hopefully, you know what the exciting thing is? Let's bring it back to what matters. Hopefully in the next 2 days, Paul Pogba will be signing for Manchester United. It's got to happen soon. I know people are saying he's not back from holiday till August the 6th. That's 2.5 weeks away. It isn't going to go that long. It won't go that long. It will get sorted out before that. But thanks, everybody. Boiling hot. Going to have a drink and a lie down, and we'll speak later. I'm dreading going on Twitter. I think I might just leave it for tonight and buffer a few tweets. But interesting. And thanks for all your support. And thanks for those who don't support us, because you've just wasted a load of time just watching us. But all I can say in closing is I don't actually have an issue with any of those people or channels. We'll just keep doing our thing. I just think it's wrong to go head to head with the United channel, and the fallout from it is just baffling. But I will get a good rest. Thunderstorms tomorrow. I think we've had a few tonight, haven't we? But Dan's still here. 50 minutes and counting, Dan. Speak to you all later. Watch tomorrow. We'll have the preview up tomorrow of how I would line up, and we'll have a guest on tomorrow night. Really excited about this guest. A bit of a backstory to it. I hope you welcome him to the channel and give him a good United stand, make him feel part of it like you do me. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Right? See you later.